Alright guys, welcome back to Exploring the New World, Hunting the New World, whatever I named it. I'm not really sure by now, but one of those two. Anyway, welcome back to my Let's Play of Monster Hunter World, and we're about to finally go on our first mission, so let's go beat up some Jagras here. So we have to cull a certain number of them in order to secure the area.
What are we waiting for? The new world awaits.
Now, it's going to tell you here, we can get quests from her or any of the quest boards, which I will show you when we get back. And so there's there's 4 different kinds of quests you can go on. You can go on assignments, story missions that you can't repeat, optional quests, which I will also be showing, and sometimes they are repeats of the assignment, so you can play certain fights over again. Investigations, which you have a limited number of them, but they're pretty much infinite also. You can keep getting them as long as you're exploring around, you'll keep getting investigations. Investigations are best for getting materials to farm for weapons and equipment. I would not recommend doing optional quests over and over again for equipment. Investigations are the way to go. And events are special online exclusives, so those will last usually about a week, I believe. I can't show you any of the other ones, so let's go to Assigned, Jagras of the Ancient Forest. This screen kind of gives you some information. You know, the objective is to slay 7 Jagras, your money, your time limit, and your conditions and failure conditions. So as you see, if we faint 3 times, we fail the mission. We have to kill 7 Jagras. We have 50 minutes. 50 minutes is a pretty good amount of time. You usually don't have to worry about that at all. As it's going to tell you here to eat, which I already did at the end of the last episode. This kind of goes over the rules for preparing for a quest. As you see, as you sit here, the quest is going to load up, and if you have other party members, theirs will load up. An important thing to do is, if you're the party leader, wait until everyone is ready and has a little green thing next to their name. You can actually leave early without them. I would not recommend it because it kicks them from the match. And depending on your hardware, whether it be PS4, PS4 Pro, Xbox, Xbox One X, or PC later on, you know, eventually the loading times vary. That's what I was trying to get to. I don't know why I said eventually. It affects your loading times, because my buddies who have Xbox One X's, theirs are done super fast, whereas mine takes a little bit of time. So it's unfortunate, but running the older hardware does have some limitations. Now, I know I normally cut these, but since I was blabbing, I guess I'll just keep this one in. And it was actually a rather quick one anyway. Now, I said this is a 50-minute time limit, but don't worry, the time limits are usually very, very fair.
Rule number 1. Complete the objective to complete the quest. Easy, right? Each quest has an objective. You can't consider the quest done until you complete that objective. Our current objective is to eliminate a specified number of Jagras. Let's check the map. We ran into some Jagras on the way to base. The small monsters, remember? I think we saw them somewhere around here. Want to check it out? Rule number 2. Use the supply box. The Commission supplies us with a loadout of certain items for each quest. They're in the supply box over there. Have a look and decide what you should take along. Ready to go.
This is actually super useful, something that I'm glad they point out here to you. The supply box will be here for any mission you do, at least in the low rank. High rank, not quite sure how that works. Low rank, this will always have a provision of things for you to use. And most of these easy ones only last till the end of the mission. You don't get to keep them. So just be aware of that. Also, the supply box is for everybody. So the more people you have, the more items you'll have in the supply box. But don't be a hog and take everything for everybody. Leave stuff for your team to get. Don't be greedy. Like I said before, you can eat at the canteen, or if you didn't eat before you left, here's a little canteen for you to eat at. So if you forget to eat before you leave, don't fret, every one of these campsites will have a place for you to eat anyway. or if you die after 10 minutes, you come back and eat and refill.
Want to get going?
Alright, so let's go on our first hunt. I was going through item bar and stuff like that. This stuff I'm going to go over with you guys later on when I have items to help
Be careful.
add to this and stuff like that. Grab some herbs, make some potions. Because this guy's going to kind of try to
More attacking.
streamline this.
What you're able to do depends on whether or not your weapon is drawn.
Yeah.
When you're investing,
One thing weird about this game that you have to get used to is
you want to keep your weapon sheathed.
when and when not to sheath your weapon.
I'll mark gathered
Hitting Y will help you unsheath your weapon. You can now attack. However, while you have your weapon out, you cannot use items unless you're using the sword and shield. Which is why sword and shield is a very good beginner weapon, because you can have your weapon out and still heal. Otherwise, you have to wait till you can sheath your sword to use potions, antidotes, stuff like that. So, be aware of that.
And mix it with a potion to make mega potions.
Like I said, you can tell this story is just a good little tutorial for people to get used to this game. It's very nice, very helpful.
Over here!
Alright, let's get ready to get stomped at some Jagras.
Jagras. Those are the monsters we're after.
Let's see how you hold up when you're on your own.
You can see in the upper left here. I already got that guy dead. Smack him with the hammer. These guys are pieces of cake. If you need 50 minutes to do this, well, either you got lost somehow, or you really might want to think about
Grab all the monster materials you can and use them at the Smithy.
whether or not this game is for you, because these guys are really, really simple. As you see, as you kill monsters, you can hit B or circle on the PS4 to get materials from them. These materials will be what we use to make new weapons and new armor. If it is highlighted in green, most times it's useful for you to pick up. Bone piles are used in armor, used in weapons, so if you see bone piles, always pick them up. The only thing I would say you really don't have to pick up, we passed them before, a scatter nut, because those are usually used in, what should I say, they're usually used in bullets, so they're not that important. So like red pit is useful because you put it in your slinger. You see in the bottom right, I have 15 red pit, so I can aim and shoot this. I'll get more into the slinger a little later on. Mining outcrops are also super useful things to do. So bone piles, mining spots, herbs, and honey are all very, very useful things to get. And if you can, I'd always recommend getting some. These little yellow guys here, flash flies, are very, very helpful. For example, it blinds monsters. If you mentioned, last episode I mentioned flash pods. Well, those are items that you eventually be able to create that actually you can shoot from your slinger that do that exact same thing to enemies. Boom, got hit. And this guy's throwing me around pretty good. Bonk these guys in the head.
Been immobilized. Now's your chance.
Alright, got that guy. There we go. I also got used to the range of this hammer. It's very different compared to the weapons I've used. It looks very big, but it's definitely very, very short when it comes to range. You see, this mission's nice and simple, very easy. A good beginner mission. One thing I want you guys to notice is up in the upper left corner, you see my health, which is the green bar, my stamina, which is the yellow bar, and underneath the sharpness, which if you hit things with a weapon, you're going to have to sharpen weapons eventually. If weapons dull, they will bounce off enemies more and do less damage. So you always want to keep that to maximum sharpness if you can. Also, like using items, you cannot sharpen your weapon with the weapon out. So you have to learn when to put the weapon away, when to sharpen. It's also part of just being aware of things like this during missions and during fights. It's something you always have to constantly be watching and managing. Like I said, micromanaging, when I first said, I meant in terms of the item box. Also have to do that while you're in the middle of a fight with sharpness. If you have other weapons that are more advanced, like the charge blade and your vials, or different coatings you have on your bow, or different kind of ammos you have for your bow guns. There is a lot to take in at first, and it can be a lot for a lot of people. So just know, take it easy, take it slow. Eventually you will get there. Alright, well, that was a nice quick mission. Let's see if this opens up some other things that we can look at. But we somehow got an error code while logging back into the network. That was weird. Alright, I'll come back to you guys when we're back in Astera.
Good to see you. Listen up.
Alright, so I forgot, now we have to go take care of Kestodon, which are also smaller monsters.
All right. Now that you've got some materials, why don't we head over to the Smithy to see what you can do with them?
That's a good idea, Handler. Alright, now we have a little bit more freedom to go do some things. We have our login bonus, which we get a bonus item sometimes, and a lucky voucher. Get my 5 million, 6 million celebration item pack. If you could pick up this game before, I believe, like the 21st, I should have read it right there, it said it. But if you pick it up before a certain time, you will get these bonuses, which are really, really helpful.
Oh, hello.
Let's see what she has to say here. Oh, she's about squads. Squads are clans you can make and join. She's just telling us we can go up there via the lift. Alright, so since you said let's see what we can make, why don't we? Now most of the time I'm making items and stuff like that, I won't have that in here. Most of the things I'm going to show you guys, I can't look at the quest board yet, I guess, but most of the things I'm going to show you guys are assigned quests and optional quests. So most of the grinding I do off screen, you won't have to see.
There you are, Kramer.
He's just kind of telling us, you know, you get the materials, I'll make the stuff and upgrade your stuff. See, you use monster materials in order to forge gear and upgrade. You either get them as rewards or carve the monsters. Pretty straightforward. Now let's see. Let's see if we can upgrade our hammer at all. And here are a whole bunch of different trees and stuff like that. One thing it tells you here is the wish list, which is very useful. Okay, so right now I'm using the iron hammer. But I can upgrade to the iron hammer too. Because I mine those ore, I can actually make the second one. So let's do that. Okay, nice little cutscene that you can skip if you want to. I'll show it the first time, just, you know, for first time's sake. And there's our new hammer 2. Now, if we have the right materials, we can branch off the hammer there, water hammer, or poison hammer. Also, there's a bone tree down here, which we could do, which branches out into these. And the more you play, the more of this side under development area opens up, and the weapon trees get even more expansive. So there's a lot to do. Like I said, if you like the idea of getting loot and grinding out loot, this game is for you. Alright, now we have access to everything else, so here's a little bit about forging weapons. You have to make base weapons first before you can upgrade them. Equipment have skills. And I'll get more into that as we get more equipment with different skills. Weapons, let's see. There's hammer. See, I can make another iron hammer that I have, or I can make a bone one. So, just for shits, let's make a bone one. There we go. Now we have a bone hammer. Now this one actually is a little bit better attack, but a little bit less sharpness than our other one. So, you know what? For right now, we'll stick with the one we have. We can always go back to this one if we feel like our damage is lacking. We also have armor. We have the leather, which we have equipped right now. Chainmail. Which also, if you want to, you can go over a little bit from the helmet, hit X, and see what that looks like. But my guy's already wearing the leather armor, so you already know what that looks like. Chainmail we also have. So you look like kind of like a knight. As you see, as you're looking at this, over on the right-hand side, we have different stats for the gear. We have defense, how it does versus fire, water, thunder, ice, and dragon. The rarity of it, the level of it, and the skills. If you look down the very bottom right, you'll see a way to compare with what you have on. By clicking the left stick. Oops. Which I have leather gear, and you can see the difference between them. Or you can hit the double window button there and see the skill info. This gives you Master Gatherer. Speeds up gathering and prevents knockback while gathering, which is very useful. And you can see the little orange squares by them means that I also have these, so they're in my box. I could change them anytime. Now over here we have a hunter set, which you see you can get from Jagras hides and small monster bones, both of which are required from killing Jagras, so killing them and skinning them gives you all these materials. Oh, actually I think I misspoke. Actually the monster bones are given from bone piles, so I do apologize there. But we also have bone. Our guy will look like this with all the bone stuff. Or we'll look like this with hunter stuff. So I'll definitely be going for one of those sets. We'll have to see how it goes when I'm playing. But the more monsters you kill, the more armor you'll see. And the more monsters you kill, the more of the upgrade tree will become available. Like as you see monsters, you'll see what tree they're for. And once we find Great Jagras or some other monsters, I'll be able to show you that. You can also make Palico equipment. Your little guy can get awesome bone armor. And the alloy armor. And each of these have different stats themselves. Like this one does, you see it does attack type severing. So we can cut things with this. Or attack time blunt. So it's kind of like me having the hammer, you just hit things and it'll hurt them, whereas certain severing weapons will bounce off, blunt weapons won't. And eventually he'll get different elements, different things like that. Right now I can't really make any of this stuff, so he's going to stay normal. Insects we're going to have to look at because I'm going to be using Insect Glaive eventually, and that's what the Insect Glaive uses for pretty important, actually, a pretty important part of the Insect Glaive's usage is the Kinsect. And I'll talk more about that when I switch over to the Insect Blade to play around with it. Which one you can buy new ones, you can nurture them. I start with 2. One has a heal effect, one has a poison effect. One's blunt damage, one's sever damage. So they are all very different, and I'm not very sure how many you could buy, or what different kinds you could buy. I've never played around with Insect Glaive, so it should be interesting to see how many types there are. And of course you could change your equipment here if you want to, just like the item box. And see, because we did the tutorial, we got armor spheres and iron ore. armor spheres are used to upgrade your armor. We'll look at those a little bit later on. And you see, she's going to show us that she basically sells, you know, the iron hammer and the bone hammer. Say you don't have the materials to make them, but you have some extra money, you can come here and buy them. Same thing with the armor. She has the leather and chainmail sets, so she's the base of everything. You can also change your equipment here too. Let's see what Mr. Airship Engineer has to say. This guy works on flying ships, which we have not seen yet. Oh, that's because oh, there we go. They had an airship, but it was grounded by a monster attack. That kind of sucks. Like I said, sometimes you'll see these guys just giving you kind of background information on the world, so it is useful to go over and talk to them. Let's see, anyone else? Let's see, the Canteen has something for us. Let's go see what the Canteen has. And it seems like we're about to wrap up here. Sorry I spent so much time there in the armory, but I just wanted to give you guys a lowdown there since that was our first time in there. Ah, here we go. Now the Meowscular Chef is going to give us a quest to help broaden the menu of the canteen. Like I said, those exclamation points can give you quests, so that was very good that we were able to go do that. Alright, so next time I'll hopefully spend a little bit less time walking around here in the store, and we'll go do the Kestodon quest and hopefully the quest for the Meowscular Chef. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you guys later.